Copy. 3 units. We need 3 units to respond to the first floor stairwell.
We got a vehicle pulling in the driveway, black Jeep.
Black Jeep pulling in the driveway. On cars, let's just keep it priority traffic at this time.
Good morning, guys.
Female walking inside.
Female walking inside.
It's here. Have officers stop saying, got Troy on scene.
Troy's on scene.
Multiple agencies responding to a hospital in Troy for reports of a shooting. Michigan, okay? Good morning, good morning.
Go. It's just a secure at this point.
I literally just walked in the house, so I'm not even really settled.
Location. What they're at.
They are top side. McCormick, does Troy mark their UC?
Close.
1805 at door 28.
I'm with cars on Breezeway. We get down this street anymore. Nobody comes down Breezeway. 759.
Bench copy. Nobody down Breezeway anymore.
Good morning, good morning. Bring me a cup of coffee.
And the south side in Grossback. 8 in Grossback. Possible 50 is an open line with screaming.
9 in the car 16 for in service.
Sterling Adams, Illinois.
That's a good question, Melissa.
You're ready to copy.
Go ahead.
David Young, Zebra 464.
One more time.
David Young, Zebra 464.
Four 695 Mary 4.
X5.
Washington 27 Command 1. Just so you know, there's multiple school buses in here.
Copy there. Just try to get out there as soon as possible. She's West Durango, following the school bus northbound direction 210. Into the listed, namely the bus driver didn't let her go for the bus stop.
Okay.
Good morning, good morning.
7th, number 7.
She's thinking northbound Gratiot through Fraser right now. Go ahead. You got from Duncan City and Macomb or not?
Here's from the south side. Woods party with Cam.
We're following some breaking news. We're just getting into the newsroom out of Oakland County. Many of you may have gotten an alert on your phone about an active shooter at Troy Beaumont Hospital. We can confirm police are there and are investigating a shooting in the parking structure. The public being urged to stay away from that area right now. We know a neighboring police agency also assisting in this active scene. We have a crew heading to that scene right now. We'll keep you updated as we get more information.
Live reporter Brittany Chulis set up on the field at this location. Brittany, where are you right now?
Yeah, Alicia Keenan, I am at the Troy Police Department Training Center. This is where it is in relation to the hospital. We're right here. The hospital is down Long Lake Road up to Quinder. So we are about 3 minutes away, about 3 miles, not as the crow flies, though. We are the first crew here. We even beat the PIOs here. We're told they are en route to give us information. I did just go inside to try and get information too. A lieutenant is in there. He just got on shift and told me all they can say right now is there is an active situation at Troy Beaumont. Also, when we pulled up, we're parked right over there. Parked in this parking space was a police vehicle. 2 officers in full tactical gear and long guns with helmets and the little microphones all came out, and they whipped out of this parking lot and took a hard left down that street there. So it is still very ongoing. We also did get that active shooter update when we got off the expressway and got right into Troy. That's one of the first things that popped up on my phone. So it is still going on. We are trying our hardest to gather information. We also stopped at Fire Station 5 ahead of time to try and get info. So we are here waiting for the PIOs to get here to tell us what's going on, if there are any injuries, and any information we are going to get. We're going to give it right to you guys at the desk, but we are here waiting. For now, live at the Troy PD Training Center, I'm Brittany Tulis for 7 News Detroit this morning.
All right, thank you, Brittany, there at the police station. Our Ryan Marshall is there at the scene. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan, what are you seeing there on the ground?
Well, good morning, guys. We're here on the southwest corner of Beaumont Troy Hospital here on DeQuinder. Not too far from, I'm looking at my map, a neighborhood adjacent to it right here in Burning Bush Drive, and a large police presence, probably about a dozen law enforcement vehicles. I'm going to step out of the way here and just kind of show you what I have here. A lot of vehicles lined up. This is about as close as we could get to the hospital. I know Brittany is on the other side at the fire department, but we were able to make our way here coming up, and there's still law enforcement sirens, a lot of law enforcement coming up DeQuinder. There are about a dozen people out here, residents, neighbors, wondering what's going on. Police is actively and frantically trying to cut people off from this area to get them to a safe distance. But right now, certainly we know that it is an active shooter right now happening at Troy Corewell Beaumont Hospital here, and yeah, this situation is very fluid right now. As we get more information to you, we'll get it to you on air and online. But Alicia Keenan, this is a frantic situation. I'm a little out of breath because we were running just trying to get to this area, and we had to cut through some neighborhoods to get as close as we could here. This is where we're at right now.
Thank you so much for that live reporting, Ryan. As we're looking at this image right here, you can see they blocked off traffic to DeQuinder Road, really probably to make way for more emergency vehicles, some 24 there right now. But we have an alert that was sent to employees that we're going to share with you in just a moment.
They're going to head out the emergency exit.
Dispatch copies 4-2, measure.
North side of building.
Oakland County from Home Dispatch. I heard your air one is in the air. Be advised, we do have a couple of
Calling command.
Copy, my phone has drones.
Shelby has drones airborne at 100 feet.
Sterling drone unit, all units on this. Beaumont, be advised that Oakland Air 1 is in the air. Drone. I'll take care of that.
Yeah, well, we're waiting for this to get down here. So we're going to finish the parking lot here and look for that woman that's west of that.
At this point, all we know is we have one confirmed visit.
I'm sorry. Oh my God, I was muted. So I hate doing the phone when I'm streaming. Thank you.
Understood. One confirmed victim that is being treated. Thank you.
Go. Traffic 173. Go ahead. I confirm that a search was done, but there's a lot of locked doors that we're going to go through to the secondary. We have key fobs, and we're going to start doing a secondary of locked doors. 88 on count. 88 on count. 88 on count. Hey, I got the drone van. You guys located.
Shit.
For the golf course, or just follow it to the east or on the hill. Alright, on the way. 10-4. Probably 76, are you still on town?
So I was saying, I'm looking for a live
After you
feed.
enter the property, go behind the house along the golf path.
The scanner audio is live. The scanner audio is live, but I was trying to see a video feed.
I think I see up there. You got a tag vehicle.
If you guys could hit the like button, please. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, please hit the like button. Facebook, please follow me, share it. Oh, you see you guys are sharing. Okay.
10-4, 19 in route. Perfect. Good, 2-1.
201 Troy is asking if we need a That's you guys good to stay up by 100 feet.
Active shooter. Oh, let me see. Just Champ 313.
Crawford Central from Frederick Auto 8S87.
Please don't do that. Don't do that.
201. Now, on Frederick Auto 8.
Good morning. You can show the student head up and out at the Tockler in northern Michigan for a trip down to Cedar Creek Hospital in St. John's.
Cedar Creek. Have a good day. 847.
Multiple buildings. 5-0.
Channel 4? Okay, I'll check it out. Thank
We
you.
have another building, rehab and dialysis center. We need to completely search if they could start the violation.
No. So I think what everyone's
Thank
trying
you.
to understand right now is if it is actually, an active shooter, if this was, I don't want to say the phrase false alarm because we have to be very careful nowadays, but you never know in a situation like this. So how do you kind of process what's happening behind us?
It's scary. It's scary. You go to your workplace thinking you're going to be safe, but I mean, we practice these drills, and I kind of thought maybe it was a drill because they do have drills, but when I saw the SWAT on top of the building, I knew it wasn't.
Can you kind of help us understand the layout of the actual structure here? I've been here a couple of times. I understand that the parking garage, there's really two main ones. There's one here and then one on the west side of the building as well, right?
Well, it's one large.
It's one big one.
One big parking structure. Okay. This is considered the south parking deck.
Okay, and is that where you were trying to get in?
Yes, we park out in the parking lot here and we walk across.
Gotcha.
We walk into the parking structure.
And the parking structure has instant access into the building,
Into
right?
the hospital, correct.
Yeah. Is there any security between those 2 points?
There's security that walk around.
Okay, but there's not like a point where you've got to check in?
No, not at all.
Okay, so
not at all.
Unfortunately, if this is a true situation, this person could walk right into the hospital?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. And I don't want to alarm
At
anybody.
any points, west entrance, the main entrance they can walk into.
Okay.
Wow.
I heard that it happened in the radiology department. I'm not really sure if that's true or not.
So you heard rumors that something happened inside the radiology department?
What
What
she
happened?
worked there?
At least a rumor.
That there was an active shooter.
Okay.
I don't know if there was shots fired or anything. I don't know that.
Gotcha. So as
One
a person
possible victim?
who just cannot get any information, standing here looking on this, what do you think?
I'm just worried about my coworkers, and patients. I hope that they're safe. I hope nobody got hurt.
I hope they don't fire her.
All right, so back out here live, I was able to speak to her. Her name was Barb, about 20, maybe 30 minutes ago when things were still really all unfolding, and they are as we speak right now. So since the time of that interview, what the Troy Police Department has been able to tell us is they confirmed that one person was shot at the hospital. That person currently in the emergency room undergoing treatment as we speak, and that this appears to be an isolated incident in... So I just want to reference something. We have seen now probably 6 to 10 police vehicles speeding out of here as fast as they can. So, as Darnell was mentioning earlier, that could be one of two things. One, that there's, information that they need to go check on something, or two, that they may have a suspect somewhere that they're working on right now. I'm looking to see which helicopter is above us here. It appears to be one of the county helicopters. I know MSP is also supporting in this as well. So what I was saying earlier is that the hospital and the Troy Police Department, they're classifying this as the best of their ability right now, saying that this is an isolated incident, and that what that means in terms of how they designate it is that they don't believe that this person has a gun that is going randomly throughout the hospital looking for people to shoot. It seems like it may have been a targeted type of issue. Doesn't make it any better, but what that does is it changes things in terms of how they perceive what the mindset of that active shooter could be at the time of the shooting. Now, that doesn't change, of course, the logistics of trying to find that person, because as we've heard over the past hour or so, we're getting different reports on where the shooting could have been. We heard, as you heard from Barb, saying maybe in the radiology department, maybe somewhere else in the hospital, maybe somewhere in the parking garage. So what that means is that the law enforcement officers have to search every square inch, every nook and cranny of this entire building. As you can see, Corewell Health Troy here is a massive, massive building. So there is a lot of ground to cover here and a lot of floors to cover here. I was talking to a friend of mine who works at this hospital and still has friends inside the hospital as we speak, trying to text back and forth, and then I had said, well, maybe texting is not a good time. It's not a good time, just let them be at this point. But they said that inside it is just pure chaos and pure fear and panic. Terrifying moments for everybody, because they don't know what's happening. We don't know where the shooter is, if that person is still inside the hospital or if they've taken off. And as I had mentioned earlier, this area is right adjacent to not only DeQuinder, which can get you anywhere along the Macomb-Oakland County border, but also onto M59 and then onto either 75 to head north or south, or you could head east and jump onto 94 pretty easily too. So that's not that far of a stretch to think that if this person did get in the car and take off, they could be miles and miles and miles away at this point. I do want to reference the fact that the hospital has put out a statement as well, essentially saying that patient care is on hold in terms of elective things. If they have a procedure that is non-emergent, then they shouldn't be coming to the hospital right now, and that everything inside that hospital is on lockdown. So unless it is an emergency for the patients that are already inside, they're of course being treated, but everybody else on lockdown, and there are no incoming patients, no incoming traumas to this area. And if there were, we would have seen them coming towards the north side of the building into the ambulance bays, which is where that happens on that side. We had talked about the parking garage, Jason and Rhonda, just how large that is itself. And in fact, Mason, he's thinking, maybe if we move a little bit this way and just kind of move on the north side of this whole, you might get a better perspective of the parking garage itself. The parking garage wraps around the building from the south side of the building over to the west side of it. So that's also a very large structure that they've got to look at. We are hearing from our crews inside of the Troy Police Department that the briefing has now been delayed by another 20 minutes or so. So we're looking probably closer to 9:15 until we get that.
Okay, so everybody, good morning. They're going to be doing a briefing soon. They've delayed the briefing. They've pushed it back. There was a reported active shooter situation, and alerts went out on people's cell phones. This is in Michigan, Oakland County, Troy, a place called Corewell Health Beaumont Hospital. And cops think this was an isolated incident. The suspect, as far as I've been hearing and some of the reports that I've read, has not been caught yet. I literally just walked in the door not too long ago after dropping off my daughter this morning from school, and it's already popping off. Holy crap. I'm not even morning ready, nothing. I've just had a cup of coffee. I barely even started my morning, and it's already this, right? It's so crazy. Also on YouTube, can you please help me out with the like button? We got 2,000 people. I know we can get it up, the likes to at least 1,000, 500 more likes. And Facebook, if you could help me out as well. You guys have been doing good though. But if you could just help me out with the reaction, please react to the live stream, hit like, or even if you're pissed off at me, hit pissed off, or wherever you feel about the situation, react to it. It helps out. Oh, 9 a.m. press conference. Apparently they pushed it back, Tanisha. So we'll see. There was a lady from the hospital that said that she had heard that supposedly the shooting was in the radiology department. And she just had a little jacket on. The only thing I was warning, I hope she doesn't get in trouble, because sometimes with these hospitals, I used to work at 2 hospitals. They don't really want you talking to media. They have a whole department or whatever PR thing that they always tell you don't talk to the media unless they allow you to or whatever. So hopefully she doesn't get in trouble. Somebody in the chat too said that there was rumors of a victim, like somebody shot, maybe killed. So I'm gonna try to see what they're saying about that online. See what the rumor mill is, what's going on with that. And also, what kind of depraved person goes into a hospital to shoot up the place? What kind of person does that? There's a video here, full lockdown. Let me check a look at this video somebody posted just now.
Is there any patients in the room? Sir, please. Okay, buddy. Is there any patients in that room? Okay, you guys can come out. There's patient in here? Yeah, patient in there. Come this way, single file line. Stay with her, sir, please. Okay, buddy. Single file line right here, please.
That looks like a radiology guy. So that's what's going on for those that just joined.
If they don't do that as fast as possible, then there becomes more victims. So the pairing of these tactical paramedics, these medical personnel, was a solution to that problem, so they could start working on victims as quickly as possible. Now, in a situation like this, I guess it could be looked as a good thing, because you have so many trained medical personnel that you can kind of help one another, and hopefully a situation like that thing. Now, going back to the beginning here, though, as the Troy Police Department told us, this appears to be an isolated incident with only one victim, as we know of right now. Which, and I hate to downplay things,
one victim
but
being
that's
treated
good comparatively to how bad this could have been, right? But again, no disrespect to the victim or all the trauma, the mental and emotional trauma that's happening inside that hospital right now. Because again, Jason, Aranda, and Darnell, as we've been talking about all morning long, there's going to be a breakdown and a lack of communication for the people who are hiding and fearing for their lives. They could still not know that this appears to be an isolated, likely or potentially targeted issue versus randomly going throughout the building with a gun.
You made that perspective very clear just on the people that that you were texting with that are there inside or have had communication with anyone inside. Nick, I was curious, as we've been talking about just that entire landscape there and how large it is, have you been hearing or seeing any helicopters up above that would indicate there's any searching of the landscape outside?
There was one helicopter that just a few moments ago, I'm seeing now and ambulances arriving on scene, which I believe it's probably part of a protocol. Hopefully it is, to add more. I can hear Darnell kind of saying, yes, usually an incident like this, it's protocol just to stage them on the outskirts of things in case they are needed. So Rhonda, going back to the helicopter, one arrived about 5 minutes ago. I'm sure they would have liked to be here sooner. However, the wind grounded most helicopters, even ourselves. Our news helicopter, Sky 4, could not be over this because the the wind was so bad. So that would have been something that could have been a great resource and a great tool, but unfortunately, they're not able to use it until right now. And honestly, I'm trying to get a closer look. In fact, Mason, if you wouldn't mind, let's take a look at that helicopter. Who that is, if it's MSP or maybe a county helicopter that's flying above us. I can't tell from our viewfinders. Maybe you guys can. It would look.
Does that look like a state police chopper?
It appears to.
Darnell?
There you go.
Yeah,
they
it
can
does.
fly in
It looks like an MSP.
Yeah, that's what it appears to be.
Again,
Law enforcement, certainly, not media.
Right. Yeah, definitely law enforcement, not media. And it's a great resource to have, especially on a campus this large. But again, the delay in getting them here, not their fault, but because of the weather conditions.
Sure.
At this point, I don't want to say it's a moot point, but it certainly didn't help that they were grounded for so long before they could be here.
I wanted to reiterate, too, just the statement that we received from Corewell Health. And obviously, we're trying to provide you with information as we get it. But this being an active scene, things can be changing from moment to moment. But pointing out that they are working with local law enforcement out of an abundance of caution. And I'm just paying attention to every single word, Darnell, in these statements, that the hospital is on lockdown. One victim is in the emergency department for medical treatment. So when you
one
see
victim in the emergency department,
coupled with the fact that it's in police from Troy are saying it's an isolated shooting, I mean, I'm just looking for ways to help maybe calm some of the anxiety that a lot of people may be feeling when you see on our screen here.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Michigan. Michigan, guys.
Example of why.
Morning.
Can we get it back?
Why an abundance of caution.
You still live in Oakland? We lost her. So one victim in the ER. The suspect, the shooter,
we do
is
apologize
at large.
for that interruption, but we were just trying to get perspective for our viewer. The information that we've been receiving from both Beaumont, Corewell Health there at Troy Beaumont, and also from Troy Police about an isolated shooting and one victim that's being treated in the emergency
Morning,
department.
Monica.
The isolated shooting speaks to a relationship of some kind.
Rachel.
Again, the Troy Police Department will put the information out as they choose to, but in police terms, it speaks to a relationship. So the individual had some sort of a kinship to the shooter, and the individual had some sort of a kinship. So in that regard, it seems that way. And you can look at that. You still have to, again, as we've been saying continuously, that we still have to be cautious. We still have to exercise due diligence and all that. But it does speak to that there may have been some sort of relationship between the shooter and the victim.
Like you say, an abundance of caution because you pay attention to every single word in there. We know incidents at hospitals have been on the rise. Just last month in York, Pennsylvania, a man with a pistol and carrying zip ties took hospital staff hostage and it ended in a shootout where the shooter was killed along with a police officer. So certainly law enforcement knows this.
I don't know, man. Is crime up?
This
is violence
me.
up?
Saw a headline and jumped to. I knew you'd be on it. Mel, red heart emoji.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you guys don't be afraid to hit me up if there's incidents happening. I mean, I check Discord pretty frequently. The problem with Twitter, I check my Twitter notifications if somebody tags me, but the DMs is just full of spam. It's actually the last couple of days it's kind of cleared out a little bit. The message request, no, actually not. The message request box is full of spam crap, yo. It's ridiculous. Like, look at my spam thing. You can't even get regular messages. I thought Elon would take care of that. So I miss a lot of messages because it's full of crap in there. Good morning. So one person, the victim, I guess that they were shot, is in the emergency room. The shooter is at large. They're saying that this is like an isolated incident, they believe, meaning that this person is not just shooting random people. This was, for some reason, some type of domestic thing or whatever. Some psychopath. Who does that? Who goes to a hospital? A place of care, a place of recovery, a place where people are vulnerable. They have all kinds of ailments. Some people might be strapped to the bed or under all kinds of medications, IVs, getting treatment. These people have no kind of like, I don't know. It's insane. And yesterday, we covered the active shooter yesterday, right? And that guy looked crazy as hell. Let me show you something. Let me show you something right now real quick. Because I saw this morning when I was scrolling, and I was like, hell nah, bro. Hell no. This is the guy. Bro. You see this on the picture? Holy, on the left. The active shooter at the CIA headquarters today looks like the little dude from Wrong Turn. I love the movie Wrong Turn. I've seen all of them, and I'll watch whenever the next one comes out. Might even rewatch them. I don't know. Wrong Turn. The hills have eyes. What happened? People on edge, man. Lord.
Rochester Hills. That was the original emergency alert that went out a little after 7:30 this morning, reporting that active shooter near Troy Corewell Health.
Oh, you like that movie too?
Avoiding the area, shelter in place. And when we talked about patients in rehab facilities, that was part of the hospital's official statement a little while ago from Corewell Health.
Michigan.
If you have any appointments there today, do not go to the hospital. They will be rescheduled. You can call the department you need to go to for further guidance, but that would certainly apply to those surrounding buildings. If you have rehab scheduled for today of some kind, you certainly want to call first because it's most likely canceled today.
And we're trying to do our best to receive all of the very latest accurate information that we can confirm and also give you perspective of, at least from Darnell's perspective, which is really important, being a former law enforcement official, to help us understand. But at the same time, you can't alleviate the anxiety and the fear. One, you have concern for anybody's inside, whether it's patients or staff. If you have loved ones and friends that work there, it's certainly a scary feeling for anybody on the outside looking in right now. So we are trying to provide some reassurance just from what we know and what we're able to read from the statements we've received.
Yeah, and one of the things that we didn't talk about is if you are confronted by the police, if you are a nurse, a doctor, make sure that your hands are where they can see them. Make sure you don't make any sudden moves, you know, if that were to happen.
I do want to bring in the superintendent of Troy Schools, who's joining us on the phone this morning. Richard Majeski, to walk me, first of all, thank you. I know it's obviously a busy time. I can't imagine how many calls are coming into the district today, but walk me through what your protocol is in a situation like this.
Yeah, thank you. Pleased to share some information. Unfortunately, we do practice these things for situations similar to this, but in an incident like this, when there is something that's occurring outside of our schools in the community, we go into what we call minimum security mode, which is essentially students in the classroom, business as usual in the classroom, but we limit any access outside. So in the case that occurred today, or is still occurring, our high schools were already in the building, so they immediately went into minimum security mode. Our middle schools were in the process of dropping off, so we had staff meeting them, escorting them into the building quickly, and then they immediately went into minimum security mode. Our elementaries, because they start later, it's similar to the middle schools. We had staff meeting students and parents and getting them into the building. And then, again, once they're in the building, it's minimum security mode, business as usual, no outdoor recess and so forth, things along those lines until we're confident that the issue's been resolved.
Have you gotten any communication? Are you in constant communication with any of the departments as this progresses, as in if this suspect isn't caught and could have escaped the hospital grounds or anything of that sort?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. Yes, we have an excellent relationship and are in constant contact with the Troy Police Department. Our school resource officers, we're very fortunate to have 3 of those. We also have a district security director. So our district security director is in constant contact with our SROs. He's then getting information to our team here in the Troy School District, and then we're able to get that information out quickly via our communication channels to our building administrators, who can then immediately connect with their staff via what we call a RAVE application. It's a communications application. So, Yeah. Again, we practice these kind of things for this very reason, in an effort to make sure we're communicating effectively.
And what are you communicating out to parents right now, if anybody is concerned? I mean, this does raise anxiety for anyone to see this happening in the city that you live. Are you giving any advice to parents in terms of it's okay, your kids are fine, stay at work, there's no need to come and pick them up?
Yes, exactly, and you're absolutely right. Any situation like this raises the level of anxiety for our families, for our staff included. So what we communicated to parents early on was what we knew, which was there was a situation occurring at Troy Corewell, and that we were abreast of what was occurring, and that we would be in a minimum security mode, that students would be let into the buildings immediately, encouraging them, letting them know that all is well. It will be business as usual. Students are safe. Which has worked out well for the high school and the middle school, because this was kind of unfolding as they were already in the process of coming to school. For our elementaries, families, some have chosen to stay home today, which is completely understandable. And for those that are here, we've asked building principals to reach out to their communities and just reassure them that all is well, and that we have processes in place, again, for this very reason. This is, again, why we practice. So that's what we've been sharing thus far with our community.
Well, unfortunately, you're getting very good at that, and it's unfortunate you have to train so much at that. But, Richard, we certainly appreciate your time this morning. And, again...
So there's supposed to be a briefing coming up. As you can see towards the right of the screen, there's supposed to be something coming up. So when it goes live, they're going to show it. So we're just hanging out here, waiting to see what happens. One victim in the ER. I'm presuming they were shot. The suspect is at large. They haven't caught him. I wonder what kind of security they had there, too. Varying places have different security. The one lady that was talking, that was like from she said the shooting supposedly happened in radiology. The rumor is. But the way she made it sound is almost like you could just walk in there. You could just walk in that place, and some places are very lax. Some places I've seen now, like in hospitals, one of the ones that I used to go to, now went more recently, one of the ones that I used to work at, and they have security like a metal detector now. Something you walk right through, but they don't make you like take off your watch and all that stuff. But now they have some type of metal detector. I don't know what kind of detection is it. Before they didn't have nothing. Before they had the security guy in the front. You just walk up. You could have whatever bag. I think they might check your bag. I'm not sure. They didn't check me, but I don't know if they really check your bag. But you just walk up, you show your ID, and you walk in, and that's it. You can bring anything in there pretty much. Seems like it. So it looks like some places have kind of bumped up a little bit their security at these hospitals. I mean, the one I used to work at, they always have officers there, like armed, especially by the ER. There's armed officers. There's some armed security. There's a lot of them that aren't armed, but there's a lot of cops too hanging around. Oh, let's see, this person's talking here.
Police and Fire Training Center. My name is Lieutenant Ben Hancock with the Troy Police Department. I'm going to give you the latest and most up-to-date information that we have in regard to the shooting that occurred at Corewell, Troy this morning. At 7:08 this morning, our dispatch center received a call from the Corewell, Troy security of a shooting that had just occurred in the parking garage. Security was able to give us information that it appears a handgun was fired 5 times at the victim. The victim was hit 2 times in the arm, and his vehicle was also struck. This appears to be a targeted incident between 2 employees of the hospital.
2 employees?
The hospital was placed into a lockdown, as well as local schools and daycares were notified to put into a soft lockdown. Currently, many agencies, are searching and clearing the hospital and the surrounding areas, although it is not believed that the suspect is still inside the hospital. The search is included with canines, drones, and helicopters throughout the area. The victim is a 25-year-old male from Troy who is alive and in stable condition.
Don't tell me it was a female that shot him.
The suspect is not yet in custody, but not believed to be at the hospital.
Is it a female?
We will not be releasing any victim or suspect information at this time due to the ongoing investigation. And hopefully later this morning we'll be able to provide further update with some additional information. I'll take a couple of questions if anyone has one. Yes?
Do you have a better idea who you're looking for?
Can you just talk about the response of this and what, how you have to clear a hospital, a lot of rooms, the big building, a lot of people inside?
Correct. Yeah. This is obviously something that takes all these agencies to respond, and we're very thankful that all these agencies dropped everything they had going on and responded immediately to assist us in searching the hospital. We have multiple coordinated search teams calling out and clearing floor by floor at a time, every room at a time. It's a very large operation. Obviously, this is a massive hospital that we have here in our city. Again, it takes everyone that did respond. We have agencies from all over the surrounding area, to include some federal agencies that also responded.
Although you're not sharing the suspect description, do you have a clear idea of who you're looking for? And as far as lockdowns in schools, daycare centers, et cetera, where does all that stand to?
Yes, so the hospital is still in lockdown, but we're coming to a close here on being able to be confident that the hospital is clear. As well as at that point, I think we will be releasing soft lockdowns on the local schools and daycare, but we will notify them when that does take place. We want to make sure that that is the best information we have before we release those lockdowns at both the hospital and the local schools and daycare. As far as the suspect, the victim was able to identify the suspect, so that's how we're able to narrow that down.
Was this like an ambush? Did he like surprise him in the parking lot? Did they fight in the parking lot and then shots rang out?
What the?
Not exactly sure what led up to that. That's still being investigated.
Bro, employees?
And looked into, and I hope to be able to provide that information to you a little bit later.
I know you said you weren't providing a lot of suspect and victim information. Who was the 25-year-old man that you...
The 25-year-old male from Troy is the victim in this incident.
And he is going to be okay?
He is in stable condition.
The shooter is a
correct.
male as well, did you say?
Pardon me?
The suspect is a male as well, did you say?
The suspect is also a male. I'm not going to release any further information than that. But the suspect is not in custody, like I mentioned.
Oh, the suspect's a male. Damn, if it was a female, I was going to be like, oh, shit. Bitch is crazy.
I don't have that information.
Do you know what capacity they were employees? Were they doctors, nurses, custodial staff, security?
I also don't have that information. I'm not sure what exactly their employment capacity was at the hospital.
What about for how long have they been employed at the hospital?
That I don't know either. I'm sorry.
Was the handgun left at the scene, or did they take it with?
That I'm not also sure on either at this point.
How can you assure those that are in the hospital? I mean, there's thousands of employees. This is a frightening thing. I know you have said that.
Uh-oh.
Yep, so we can assure those in the hospital because we have, like I said, multiple agencies inside that hospital. Still continuing to search the hospital, and at this point in our investigation, we're pretty confident the suspect is no longer inside that hospital.
What makes you so confident, if you can answer that?
I'm not going to share that information at this point.
Can you share the emotional feeling at this particular moment? We're talking about a massive hospital, hundreds of patients, hundreds of employees. What's the emotional state there now, as best to your knowledge?
Sure. This is very emotional, I'm sure, for all those employees that were at the hospital and immediately involved in this, who received the lockdown notice immediately. Like I said, I just want to send a message to them that we're there, we're on scene, we're doing our best to keep you safe, and I'm confident that they are safe inside that hospital.
And you said that you're confident they're not in the hospital anymore. Do you believe the suspect is still in Troy, and what should residents do?
Residents in the immediate area should just kind of avoid the area and obviously keep their eyes peeled for anything suspicious they may see. Obviously call our dispatch center if you observe an individual that you're not familiar with or, could possibly fit I don't have a suspect description at this point, but something out of the ordinary in that immediate area, absolutely. And still encourage the public to avoid the hospital and the immediate area. I know all the major intersections within, a mile to 2 miles of that hospital are locked down right now.
If you don't have a suspect description, how do you know who you're looking for?
well, we know who we're looking for. That's why. But I don't want to share that information with the public until I have further information on it. So.
Did the conflict, is it something that happened at work that led to this, or is it something from outside of work being?
Ooh, was it outside? Yeah.
Sure. It seems that they did know each other. I'm not sure how extensively
how they know
work
each
or
other.
outside of work, but that's something that we are looking into here. So, all right. I think that's all the information we have to share at this point. So, like I said, I don't have an exact time of when further information will be shared later in the day, but I would keep an eye on our Twitter, and I'll share that information on there when it's available.
Also, sir, we've done many stories about folks posting on social media when they see something, when they hear something. They tend to post it themselves. How important is it for folks to call you guys right now?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I would say call us before you intervene yourself. And for those who are posting information that they think they know something on social media, I would probably stay away from that because you're potentially providing bad information to the public, and we don't want to send people into any kind of panic. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
There we just heard from Troy Police Lieutenant Ben Hancock. They do believe they know who the shooter is, and that shooter is no longer, they're said pretty confident, no longer at that hospital, and that search is ongoing. We do know that this was between two people. It happened in the parking garage, a shooting where 5 shots were fired. The victim was shot 2 times in the arm and is getting medical treatment in the hospital. That victim is a 25-year-old male from Troy. That victim is alive and is also listed in stable condition according to that lieutenant. Now, let's move forward. They're still having the hospital on lockdown as they continue to clear it, but they feel confident the shooter's no longer there.
Yeah, and the lieutenant wouldn't make that statement if they weren't pretty confident that the shooter isn't there. That doesn't take away from the trauma that everyone's experienced, but we can breathe a bigger sigh of relief knowing that that they've cleared the hospital, they cleared those medical buildings across the street, they cleared the.
That's crazy, man. Somebody on Facebook said we need to issue nurses, doctors, and doctors' guns, and interns' guns, and cleaning ladies' guns, and phlebotomists' guns. Guns, more guns for everyone. Oh my gosh. So isolated incident, 2 males. What was the beef about? It seems like they knew each other, but they didn't say to what extent. And they don't want to release the guy's identity for some reason. They say they know who it is, but they don't want to announce it publicly. And they got the information from the victim himself. The victim was like, this is the person that shot me. They said the person shot 5 times. I wonder if they hit the person 5 times or they missed or what happened with that. And now this person's on the run. And I guess we'll have to wait till they get caught. Was Troy Beaumont having active shooter drills? Hey, Bebecita, good morning. Was Troy Beaumont Hospital having active shooter drills leading up to today's shooting?
At the Troy facility right now. Well, we're back. I'm not quite sure exactly what.
Okay, hold on. I gotta definitely bump that up the volume.
Where we are, but we're on the mammogram floor. Mm-hmm. And are you safe? Are you okay? Yes, we are. Yeah, we're just locked in some kind of office room way in the back.
How did you hear about the lockdown and what was going on?
Well, I was right in the middle of my mammogram, and over the intercom it said active shooter. So I didn't say anything at first, and the lady just didn't say anything. And then the technician, and then all of a sudden she goes, "Did you hear what I heard?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "I'm going to go check on that because we've been having drills, so that this may be a test." I'm like, "Okay." So she leaves the room, comes back in, and she's like, "Oh no, this is real. Come with me." So I followed her, and then there was 3 other ladies waiting for their mammogram, and they came with me. Another lady in a wheelchair, she's with us. She doesn't speak English, and we are just sitting here waiting.
You're going to learn English today. Active shooter. Active shooter.
And they came with me. Another lady in a wheelchair, she's with us. She doesn't speak English, and we are just sitting here waiting. We don't know what's happening.
bullets are
What
universal.
are your thoughts when you heard that announcement over the intercom? What did you think?
Well, I was at first, she didn't react or anything. I thought maybe they were having a drill, but then I said, no, this is weird, because why would it just say that? Usually it would like alert you that you're going to have a drill first. So I tried to stay calm, you know. I felt like I was in a safe area because, you know, I know that you have to have a badge, you have to have a code or something to get into these back rooms. So I was just praying at that point that we were going to be safe.
So you are in a safe spot. You're in, what kind of room is it? Where are you?
It almost looks like a conference room. Has just a table with some chairs and a couple computers.
And you may not know the facility that well, but do you know roughly how far you might be from the radiology department?
We're by the parking structure, area B.
Okay. Obviously, this is a situation no one ever expects to be in. It is just terrifying. How are you doing right now?
Doing pretty good. These ladies I'm with we're trying to keep everybody, we kind of made a joke out of it because we're sitting all in our gowns. So we're not joking about the situation, but we're trying
How
to
dare you joke and laugh and smile? Disgusting. Cancel her.
keep everybody, yeah, so we're not, trying not to be too scared.
Yeah, it was certainly understandable trying to cope with the stress of that. Now, Anna, have you talked to your family, the people who love you? Have you been in touch with them?
Yes, I've talked to everybody, and they're just,
Really?
they're worried
LJ
too,
Knight?
but I'm assuring them that we feel safe back here because I feel like there's door after door after door with codes that we had to go through,
Sure,
so I feel
okay.
like we're in a safe area.
That is good to hear, absolutely, and I'm sure your family was so relieved to hear from you. And your story is one that's being played out countless times inside the hospital because other people are barricaded as well. I'm glad to hear that you had to go through multiple security swipes to get to where you are. So we feel like you're in a safe place. Have you heard anything after that first initial message where it said over the intercom, active shooter? Have you heard any other alerts or noise or anything?
No, somebody did come in one time asking if there was any diabetics and if we needed anything to eat, and that was it. Nothing else since.
And Anna, would you say this sound like you might be on the 6th floor? Does that sound right to you?
We're on the first floor.
You're on the very first floor. Okay.
Yeah.
Terrific. I know they have mammogram services higher in the building there as well, but being on the first floor, of course, has its own concerns for you.
All right, so person on the loose. Let me see if they say anything else here. Person on the loose.
It speaks to that they believe that the individual, if not, is still in that area. They've at least gone through that area. They're staging to wait to make sure that they have enough manpower and the appropriate manpower to go in just in case we know he's armed or he or she is armed or we know he's armed to go in this situation. And so there's a strong possibility they believe that the individual is still in this particular area. That's why they're there and they're staging.
And I think you said two things there. One, that that person could be in that area, or that there could be a scent that that person has gone through that area. Because as I look here, you said it's a staging area, and I'm only speaking to the fact that it's right near where people live who could be watching their TV right now wondering the same thing, what's going on. But it does appear that those officers are standing, they're calm, they're not moving. But I do want to point out that anybody who lives in the surrounding areas, if you have ring cameras or any type of surveillance around your house, that you should be looking at those because you could potentially be helpful to police.
Yeah, it could be very helpful. And if you're in this particular area, in this where we're showing right now, you definitely want to shelter in place. You don't want to go out. You don't want to gawk. You just want to make sure that you are safe. And so staying in your house, making sure that all your doors are secured, your windows are secured. I don't want to alarm you, but just be safe. Make sure that if the police are in this area, make sure that your home, your garage, all those things are secure and that no one has tried to enter your home. And if so, call right away and let somebody know. So this is kind of like Ron, you were talking about. There's a strong possibility that the person that he's gone through this area are currently in the area, and that's why they're bringing these units out, and that's why they're waiting. They're developing a plan as to how they're going to approach it.
Again, they are searching for a male. That is the only description that we've been given by police. They've been very adamant about the fact that they know who they are looking for based on the victim's identification of the person that they were shot by. 2 employees were involved in this at the Corewell Health Troy location. The shooting happened in the parking garage of that location, but as a result of that, there was a massive police response from multiple jurisdictions, and the hospital and surrounding complexes were put on lockdown and secured room by room, floor by floor. And our last update from Troy Police was that they are confident that the shooter is no longer in the hospital or the hospital complex itself. They have done a thorough search there, but that shooter is still on the loose.
Well, I'm not sure how you guys want me to handle this. So
okay, that's Nick. He's just getting some more information. Okay. But Nick, your mic is hot with us, so just continue to give us descriptions of what you're seeing.
Sure. So as Darnell was talking in reference in the neighborhood, I kind of zoomed out, and I'll do it again here just as a reference point. So we are currently in a neighborhood that is the northwest corner of 19 Mile Road and DeQuinder, or Long Lake and DeQuinder, because as you know, those names change once you get into Oakland County, and DeQuinder is the borderline. So just so folks know, this is obviously a residential area. This is a neighborhood, and there's probably a couple hundred homes in here. So this section here, I would, as Darnell said, suggest you just kind of lock your doors and just stay inside for now, so we understand what's happening, and until we understand why you have all these officers out here. The drone is still flying. In fact, it's actually flying directly above me right now. You can see that little black speck in the sky as I zoom in a little bit, and it travels a little further north and away from my camera here. They are still searching that area to see if they can see anything in this wooded area. And if you didn't see before, I'll kind of do it again here. The hospital is directly on the other side of this, where the road ends. Sorry, my hand isn't focused now at the road. There we go. And just around the corner is where the hospital property is. Got a couple of officers here that are from Southfield and others that are continuing to search this area and point out what's going on as we kind of follow along with them and see what's happening here.
Are they looking for the guy?
And Nick, we are listening in and watching in with you, but we wanted to allow Darnell to talk a little bit more about, just as we're observing it from a law enforcement perspective, what you can pick up from what you're seeing.
Yeah, and one of the things too is that you got Southfield out here who are not familiar with the area, so that is a challenge in and of itself. You got agencies that train together and work together, but when they leave the vicinity of the hospital, they're still going to collectively work together. But that's another challenge, is they don't know the terrain and having to walk through and try to figure out these particular areas. And so this is very important. The other thing I want to bring up as we look at the school bus here is that...
And we should mention, these are not students. These are actually workers with Corewell Health that are being evacuated, because we know parking structures and different things have been secured or locked down still, that this is the way that they're being released from their locations.
Yeah, and if you live in that neighborhood that we just showed, make sure that you check your interior doors, check your garage. The police are there for a reason. They suspect that the individual was in that area, so make sure that you have no glass broken. Make sure that, again, all your doors are locked. Just double check just to make sure, and if something is awry, call the police right away and let them know.
And certainly, as I mentioned before, if you live in any of these surrounding areas, if you have a Ring camera, if you have surveillance cameras on your home, that could be helpful to police.
Very
so you should take a look at that, or at least make sure that it's secure, because that could provide information. We do want to continue to stay in contact with Nick, who is in that wooded area by a neighborhood near Corewell Health.
So we're just kind of keeping an eye on this. Some of the officers just left, so that kind of huddle you saw here just a few moments ago is now disappeared, and you've got a tactical unit here, and MSP that is out here as well. But they are still blocking the street down on that end, although that officer is taken off from, it appears, the city of Utica. Southfield's still out here as well. And I believe this tactical unit is from Shelby Township and their police department. So I'm looking to see if I can find the drone operator.
It also sounds like we're hearing a helicopter, Nick.
There is, yeah. There's a helicopter and a drone right above me. I'm sure they're coordinating their altitudes. The drone obviously can't fly as high as the helicopter can.
Yeah, Nick,
there doesn't appear to be any sense of urgency amongst these officers. So I don't know if I don't think they believe, as that officer, takes his weapon down off. I don't think they believe that there is a suspect hiding here anymore. At least their stance tells me that.
Yeah, Nick, what they're doing looks like is establishing a perimeter. So of the area, again, the area that the suspect could have been in, and so you see these various vehicles being posted up in different areas, is because they want.
I wonder why not name the suspect. Like, if you know who the suspect is, and you're trying to locate this person, and it's possible that people could know him. It's possible that maybe somebody will ID this person out in public. Why not release their name to use the help of the public? Crowdsource to locate this person. Maybe there's a reason. So they're armed up to the T. They got to find this person. And the other thing I'm wondering is, what if this person offs themselves? I'm wondering that too. Brian Koberger.
She saw.
Okay. Man on the loose, man on the loose.
That person doesn't get apprehended or escapes or harms someone else even. So very, very important and essential.
We want to bring you up to speed. If you are just joining us now here at 9:37, we have been monitoring this since just after 7 o'clock this morning of a shooting that took place in the parking garage of the Corewell Health Troy Beaumont location between two employees. One of the employees, a male, 25 years old from Troy, was shot twice in the arm and is receiving medical treatment in the emergency department at that hospital. We're told that he is listed in stable condition and that there are no other victims. And so, as we've been talking about the massive lockdown and multiple jurisdiction police response, the floor by floor clearing of that hospital, room by room, and of course all the anxiety associated with that, we have comfort at least in knowing that there's not an active shooter at the hospital, but there is someone that has shot someone that is on the loose. And right now, police know who they're looking for. But in terms of where that person is or any description, we have not been provided with the description information for any of us to be the eyes and ears on the outside as police do their work. But it's important to them that they not share any other descriptive information at this time.
Absolutely, Rhonda. They want to make sure that the person's apprehended, so they're going to only give you the information they need to give you at this time to make sure that they can do everything to, again, make sure the person is apprehended and that you we as the public, general public, make sure that you don't disseminate any information. This is an employee-employee thing, relationship. We know that. And so we don't want to give this person a head start or anything. So we need to make sure that we don't, if you are involved, you know the employee who was injured, make sure that you do not disseminate anything on Facebook or any other.
Let me check Facebook. Now that you mention it.
We are also receiving additional information from our sources here at Local 4 that there is a police presence at a neighborhood in Macomb Township that is connected to the shooting
Is that where we're at right now?
Corewell
Hold up.
in Troy. That area.
Is that right now on the screen? Is that the home right now? So what these cops doing over here? Hold up. What's going on over here? Let me unmute this. Trying to roll up.
But as we take a broader look at the number
roll
of
up
officers
that
seem to be focusing on that house, what does that tell you?
Well, they're not moving with a sense of urgency. It looks like they may be sitting on the house for a possible search warrant of some kind. It could possibly be because they don't see anybody moving at this time. The area is being secured, and so that
I'll go back.
It looks like they're walking.
This looks like this could be, and if our team can help us, this is still at Corewell.
They switched it. Switch back.
Okay. We are hearing per multiple sources that the suspect is now in custody.
Oh, in custody.
What you're looking at here is the location where the shooting happened outside of the Troy Hospital, the Corewell Health Hospital, in the parking structure. But this has been the scene we've been watching outside of the hospital where it does appear that officers are now leaving that scene, and multiple sources are confirming to us that the suspect that they've been looking for, a male that's a hospital employee, is now in custody.
Yeah, and the body language of these officers speaks to the hospital is definitely secure at this point. We heard that already from the lieutenant, but it does speak to no urgency, and it just speaks to that this scene looks to be secured.
We got to see what he looks like.
Between two hospital employees, a shooting that happened in the parking structure sometime around 7 o'clock this morning. A 25-year-old male is alive and is in stable condition, received treatment in the emergency department. Nick Monticelli is there receiving this information along with us with an update.
Yeah, so, Rhonda, the sources that you're talking about, I have two additional ones, so we can confirm that suspect now taken into custody at that location near 21 Mile and Heinrich Road in Macomb Township. There was a tactical unit that was sent there as well. So there's essentially a lot happening, but we can recap all of it. The fact that you've got this location, which, as you mentioned, you could tell by the way these officers are acting now that they know the suspect is not here, now in custody. The area that I was just standing, we're going to flip around just to give you a better idea. When I was live with you on my cell phone, is this neighborhood back on this side, which is just, about, I'd say, 400 or 500 yards on the other side of those woods where I was standing there. And
we lost
custody back in his home, or at a home, I should say. 21 Mile Road in Heinrich is approximately, I'm going to say 6 to maybe 8 miles down M59 to the north a mile up on Heinrich. So all of it happening all in this area. But if you remember, we had talked early on about the possibility that this shooter could have easily gotten into a vehicle and driven out of here before anybody knew what was happening. And that appears to be exactly what happened here, is that you've got the shooter that left the hospital here, headed onto M59, went east that direction, almost directly home, and would have been there in a matter of minutes. I mean, Hall Road at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30-ish, is still pretty wide open, so you could have gotten there maybe 10 minutes. It wouldn't have taken long at all. But the bottom line, Rhonda, yes, that suspect now in custody. We're hoping, we know now that the 25-year-old victim inside is going to be okay in stable condition. So I suppose, again, a good ending, all things considered. But I think now we really should start talking about the mental and emotional toll on the rest of the people, especially inside that hospital, because I can't imagine, they were locked down for almost an hour and a half, if not longer, thinking that there was an active shooter, fearing that somebody could open a door if they were hiding in a closet or a room and shoot them. So there's going to be a lot of work to do from here on out in terms of just that mental recovery. This is a situation that, unfortunately, the Oakland County Sheriff knows all too well. Mike Bouchard is keenly aware, going through Oxford and assisting with Michigan State Police and others. So there's a lot of things to happen. But again, the bottom line, the shooter now in custody at a home in Macomb Township after that shooting happening here in Troy.
And we should point out no one was killed. We do have one victim that's receiving treatment, but we're told that it was not life-threatening. That victim is alive, but certainly the anxiety and fear that everyone faced, whether you were inside of that hospital or, quite frankly, you weren't, but you knew somebody inside of the hospital, certainly it is scary. But when you have a situation like that, you have to have an abundance of caution, which was the statement that we received from the hospital, saying out of an abundance of caution, you have to make sure.
Absolutely. And as law enforcement, you don't know. And so you have to exercise it.
Okay, so suspect in custody. No information. Still no name, no picture yet. Let me see if I can find anything here on the internet. Let's see. Okay. Latest. Hospital lockdown. All clear. Shooter in custody. Okay. All right. Nothing about the name yet. X post suggests, not verified. Shooter might be white male wearing scrubs. That was earlier. Okay. Crazy. All right. I guess what I'll do is I'll update you guys later. Oh, wait. I'm expecting something. Okay, no, that wasn't that. Okay. Expecting something to come in today. In the mail. All right. So, yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. It's very early. It's still early, man. Well, kind of. Damn, time passed by. It's almost 10 o'clock here in the morning. But still, it's early. It's early, man. We got the whole day ahead of us. We'll see what today brings. Once they release the picture or whatever, I will post it on Twitter and Facebook, and I'll update it the next time I'm online. Now, I might be posting some stuff on the second page today. I'm gonna eat some breakfast first, but I might be posting some stuff on the second page today, so stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed to Ick and Mel CC, the second page. If you're on Facebook, you're fine. You'll still get the videos, but on YouTube, Ick and Mel CC. All right, I got some short stories, video clips. All right. Luckily, this person survived, and when we find out more information too, I want to try to update it. Was this a lover's quarrel? Was this lover's quarrel? Lover's quarrel gone bad? Was it beef at the hospital? Were they talking to the same girl, same lady? What was this beef over? Did somebody take somebody else's overtime? You know? What happened? Did he step on his shoe and didn't apologize? Did he cut him off in the parking lot? Now you have to pay retribution. You're gonna get shot. Did he look at him funny? What happened? Lovers quarrel. Probably. When I used to work in the hospital, a lot of those people were effing each other. I went to one of the pharmacies. He was like smashing all these chicks and stuff, people in the pharmacy and all that. All these people had their work relationships that were here hooking up with each other and shit. They got their home relationship and they got their work relationship. What happened? You know? Got double lives. Bye, honey. Bye, wifey. Now home to the other wife. They getting high outside of the job. Clock out. Go home. Party together. Oh, it's the pharmacist. Oh, there's a court appearance today. Thank you, Curls. I gotta check into that then. I gotta look into that. I wonder if they're gonna have it live. Damn, Karen Reed has another hearing? Oh my God. Okay. All right, guys. I will catch you later. Be safe. Thank you so much for joining. Peace.